Education Secretary Betsy DeVos came to Colorado today, a week after an event in Washington for Colorado Christian University, where Secretary DeVos compared supporters of abortion rights to supporters of slavery. DeVos was in northern Colorado for a school tour today, and we caught up to ask her about equating abortion and slavery.
You were talking about abortion rights supporters, and you linked that to supporters of slavery. Do you want to clarify what those comments were and what you meant by that?
Well, it was actually talking about the underlying moral question and issue, and the importance that we have to focus on underlying moral questions. That was the reference, and it certainly, as many things do, get blown out of proportion and or taken very differently than what the intention was.
I'm glad she cleared that up, because people thought that Secretary DeVos was equating abortion to slavery when what she was actually doing was equating abortion to slavery.